How do you view the offseason and the season you had last year?
Not good enough. If it doesn't end with confetti falling on our head, I don't feel like it's good enough. And I know that we're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. I think I know that from a broad perspective, but I believe we can.
Howie Roseman on a disappointing 2025 season for the Eagles that ended in the wild card round. It's kind of good they didn't win a Super Bowl this year. I mean, those rings are getting so big. Like, what are you going to do? I saw Howie Roseman the night that the Eagles hosted the Cowboys to start the season. He came by the set, and he's got that ring on. And I'm telling you, it's a freaking coffee table. Like, so you get to a point where, like, maybe two's enough. He's got two now. Maybe two's enough. But I'm kidding. They want to win it every year. They truly have a commitment to win it every year, and it's got to be killing them that they didn't make it past the wild card round. But Michael, until they solve their problems on offense, the problems that they don't want to admit, possibly even to themselves, until that happens, they're not going to get back over the hump.
I think they've admitted it, though. Haven't they admitted the problem? Maybe not publicly, but you don't fire your offensive coordinator if everything is good on offense. Now,
what if the problem's the quarterback?
Oh, okay. Now, if the problem's the quarterback, now that's a different conversation. But if you fire your offensive coordinator, and then, I don't know if they're doing this or not, then you take a deep dive into the offense, and you figure out if it's the quarterback or if it's the scheme, if it's the personnel, if it is A.J. Brown, if he's part of the problem too, then if you're willing to take that deep dive, yeah, then that will change things. But if it's just, hey, I'm going to lop off the offensive coordinator and then put somebody else in that position and it's going to be the same approach, then it's not going to work. And Howie Roseman is a very smart guy. So what he said yesterday about A.J. Brown, that is, you know what that is. That is just like, why would I give up my leverage right now? Right? Isn't that leverage?
Well, let's all examine the words, the demeanor, the body language, possibly a tell. Let's see. I haven't seen this yet. Here's Howie Roseman from yesterday on whether he's considering trading star receiver A.J. Brown.
We talked about this, I think, at the trade deadline last time I talked. It is hard to find great players in the NFL, and A.J. is a great player. I think from my perspective, that's what we're going out and looking for when we go out here in free agency in the draft, is trying to find great players who love football, and he's that guy.
It's now, if the question is, are you thinking about trading A.J. Brown? The easy answer is no. Why would you even ask me that? See, that's the thing. Consider how Andy Reid would react if someone asked, are you thinking about trading Patrick Mahomes? How would Brandon Beane react if someone said, are you thinking about trading Josh Allen? You don't get that reaction. And there's enough wiggle there. I agree with your take on it. We're in the business of finding great players. Well, if we can justify moving on from one great player and we emerge from it with another great player, then we've still got a great player. So I agree with you in this specific respect. They're not going to give him away. And I think they would have traded him last year if someone had blown them away. I think now there's got to be a greater urgency. Look, you either got to fix the issue that nobody knows exactly what it is, but we know there's an issue with A.J. Brown and the coaching staff, or A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, or A.J. Brown and who knows. But we got to fix it. And if we don't fix it, we got to find a great player in return for A.J. Brown.
See, in your scenario, Andy Reid wouldn't be asked the question. Sean McDermott wouldn't be asked the question. Brandon Beane wouldn't be asked the question, because we didn't see Josh Allen go up to the coach and say, F you. We didn't see that happen. We didn't see any of those issues. But we did with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has been unhappy all season. It's clear. And it really boiled over in that game against the Niners last week. So would they trade him? Damn right they'd trade him. Yeah, so he says he's not in the business of trading trading great players, or you hold on to great players. Yeah, you hold on to great players until you get great offers. And so he's not going to tell other general managers, yeah, he's on the market. It just doesn't help the Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised, you wouldn't either, if the Eagles go into the 2026 season without A.J. Brown at wide receiver.
Best leverage for any trade scenario is we're just keeping him. That's the best leverage for any transaction. Somebody wants to buy your car. Sorry, it's not for sale. How about this much? Sorry, it's not for sale. Well, how about this much? It's not for sale. And then eventually they make you an offer that suddenly causes you to decide the car is for sale. The core of the problem, though, may be Jalen Hurts. I give a lot of credence and deference to Derek Gunn's reporting from during the season about Jalen Hurts frustrating coaches and teammates like A.J. Brown by not running the plays as designed and by playing, as Derek Gunn said, his game. And then Gunn added to it his reporting that Hurts knows he has the team over a barrel contractually. They can't do anything. The way they've structured his contract, the cap charges if they would trade him now, because they layer it with option bonuses, with voidable years, and it's all about pushing cap dollars as far into the future as possible because the cap keeps going up. $1 million in cap dollars today means a lot less 5 years from now, so we're going to push it into the future. The problem is if you trade the guy, it all comes rushing forward and you have a disaster now. So they have at least 2 or 3 more years where there's nothing they can do. Michael, I was on radio yesterday in Philly with John Marks on 97 The Fan, and I've laid it out very simply. Because who are you going to hire to be your offensive coordinator? What's your approach going to be with the Eagles offense? And I see 2 possibilities. One, the offensive coordinator goes to Jalen Hurts and says, you win. Let's develop an offense that you want to run. We'll run your plays, your way, and whatever you want to do, we'll do. Whatever you don't want to do, we won't do it. We won't even make you feel like you should do it. We're only going to do the things you want to do. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to say, we're going to Jimmy Garoppolo this guy. And we've been talking about this all week. We're going to use a second-round pick. And that guy's going to be groomed to take over unless this guy, Jalen Hurts, steps up like Tom Brady did. And really, and somebody pointed this out to me, and I wish I'd have thought of it, Jalen Hurts was kind of the Jimmy Garoppolo to Carson Wentz when he arrived in 2020.
Exactly. And I was just going to say, look, consider how you got the job. And so you never have a team over a barrel. If he feels that way, he is sadly mistaken. I bet Russell Wilson thought the same thing. Oh, they'll never just take all this dead money. Yes, they will. Teams will do it. They'll do it. And so it may not be convenient for Philly. It may be problematic in some ways, but Jalen Hurts got the job because they already had a franchise quarterback and they spend a second-round pick on him, and he takes over. Hurts, I'm talking about. So he's a franchise quarterback now. They have draft picks. We know Howie Roseman likes to collect them. He's a deal maker on draft day. It wouldn't be surprising or out of the question if he spent a second or third round pick on a quarterback. So watch out. We'll know the answer on draft day, whether it's option 1 or it's option 2. Hey, if he's not going to listen, let's see if we can let's roll the dice and see if we can get a quarterback who will listen and can compete for the job.
And we'll know by draft day whether or not A.J. Brown is still on the team. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.